All right, welcome to Granblue Radio. This is number 218. This is Vibrating Sheep, joined by, as always, DJ, my first officer and friend.
Hi.
So what we have on the agenda today is we were going to start with the Relic Buster class. We're going to talk about Eustace. We're going to talk about some things that came out of Home Sweet Moon, like Isaac, Beatrix, and the Cassius that they kept a very bad secret from. Like they very badly kept that secret from us. But
I
you
mean,
know.
they gave him a new outfit in the event, so
hmm Um,
and then the fact that he wasn't in the gotcha, I'm like, okay, they better give it to us, son.
and then after that, we're going to talk a little bit about the Evoker EMPs, and then we're going to just go over some slides because DJ loves slides, and I know I do too.
That's my favorite part. I love analyzing slides.
Yeah, alright, so let's get started. Let's start with some busting of relics.
This
What a
class.
what a class.
This is a class.
It's definitely a 2021 class. We were just like playing with Masquerade. And we're like, Masquerade's really good. You can like two to tango. You can give your entire team triple attack. You can like do some pretty cool stuff. And then they released this.
I don't know why they actually released these classes so close to each other, really.
Like, all right, so here we go. So the basics of this class are it reminds me a lot of Glorybringer.
But
Or
better.
or mechanic. Oh, it's better Glorybringer, better mechanic. Where the core mechanic of it is that you get 5 machine cells every 5 turns by pressing the button, and these are used for defense. They're used for offense. They're used for everything. They're used to just
It's
feed
yeah.
every single ability. Um, and so let's start with the passives because these are really important to how this guy works. All right, so there's Relic Killer, where you have low defense. Is it minus 20 or minus 25?
25.
Minus 25. So the thing about minus 25 defense on the main character is that it doesn't hurt that much because you've got defense up, base. You've got another. So I personally have plus 15% defense passively from
I
just
also have that,
yeah, and so it's really minus 10%, which
which is negligible at best.
it's significant but not important, is what I would say. Like if you're lower level, then it'll be minus 15%. That's actually pretty noticeable. The issue with this support is this part that says more likely to be targeted because in GBF terms that's plus 10, which means in a normal party the MC will have 20 eggs in the basket and everybody else will have 10 eggs in the basket. So whatever the enemy picks a target, it'll be a 40% chance to be the main character.
So I mitigate this in the teams I put on.
So it's something to build around, but it's not a deal killer. Uh, you get a passive damage amp on your normal attacks.
30%.
30% is really high, like really high.
Yeah,
And
on Seraphic multiplier, yeah.
and then this last one is both a drawback and a bonus. The damage immunity when the caster has 2 or more machine cells, and it eats a machine cell as long as you have 2 or more, until you're down to 1, and then it stops. So against certain fights, this is a huge drawback. Against
This
other
is
fights, it's an awesome bonus.
Yeah, so it counts for every single hit that would hit you. So
So if you started,
yeah,
yeah, if you started the turn with 5 machine cells, well, it's going down to 4 as soon as you attack, unless you're blocking in V2. And then for every time that you get hit, you're gonna lose one of these machine cells and not take any damage. And then after that, you'll start taking damage normally. So for example, the easiest one to go up against is the EX plus Lignoid, which is not a fight that you normally go down below 50% for, but it's just an easy example where it'll just eat all of your machine cells, leave you with one, and then you'll still take damage anyway.
yeah. Well, it's not. Yeah, like we said, it's nice when we want it to at times, but sometimes you just don't want it to because you need your machine cells.
Yeah, so it's very fight specific. So like against something like Hector, you're not gonna want this. You hate it. Against something like Willness, who just does one really big hit all the time, you're just like, yeah, yeah, bring it, buddy. Um, and then more uses of the machine cells in this second passive. So perpetual motion. Every time you attack, it uses a machine cell if you have one.
And the effect changes depending on if you're using sword or gun as your main hand.
So sword, it guarantees triple attack. What else does it do?
Amplify 20%.
So in addition to the normal amplify?
Yeah.
So it's a 50% amp?
And 30% perpetuity mod attack. Yeah.
So that's a lot. And then the thing is that the gun one is not shabby either, because it's like you look at the sword one, you're like, man, that's crazy. And then you look at the gun one, you're like, I don't know about this one. And then you see the actual number.
700k nuke at the end of it.
So 700k doesn't seem that big, but 50% skill cap up is very readily available with like Ultimas and later versions of the Dark Opus. And so that goes from 700 to 1.05 million, and then you get all of your other skill bonuses to it. And so, you know, if you're just doing it, then it'll just casually drop, you know, a couple million damage at the end of your turn. If you have like a Christmas Medeon or the upcoming boy Isaac, then it's very similar. And that is usually worth a machine cell. So those are the supports that use your machine cells.
I still think like sword's just amazing because you always triple attacking. It's always nice.
It is, and you get a 50% amp up and stuff like that. It's just that the gun is actually very good as well. It's nothing. It is not the difference between gun cavalier and spear cavalier.
I was gonna bring that up. I'm like, no one uses spear cavalier. I use it because my spears are good, but that's the only reason. Not because I want to use a spear.
And so then we get to the EMPs. So the extended masteries. There's two really good ones, and then sort of a leftover one. So all of these use up tons of machine cells. So Blitz Raid is a 0-turn cooldown attack out of turn. However, it eats a machine cell to activate, and the act of attacking eats another machine cell. So this actually has a much higher cost than people think, so you either build around it or you hit it like once every 5 turns, basically. There's a lot of builds around Blitz Raid, and we can talk about that in a little bit.
It has uses.
It
does.
Lot
of uses,
it has a lot. Like the way that you use this class is actually like there's a lot of play to it. There's upfront burst, there's long-term burst, there's just a lot of different combinations that you do with this. The second one we're going to talk about is Limit Burst, which is the one that absolutely and utterly replaces Mechanic.
Yeah. Anyway, so when it consumes a machine cell, depending on how many machine cells it consumes, and if it's all 5, you get 100 meter. You get meter, CA damage up, CA cap up.
Based on the number of things that it eats, yeah. It eats all of your machine cells. It's what, 25 plus 15 per machine cell. So if you eat all of them, it is. What was that? DJ? Hello? We might have lost him.
100 bar.
Okay.
Hello?
Yeah, there we go. We got you back. So it's 25 plus 15 per cell, was it?
Correct. For the meter.
And so this is the thing about Limit Burst, is that it actually has a lot of play as well, because if you're doing like a 1-turn setup, you can sneak in a Blitz Raid. Because you'll lose 30 meter and a little bit of cap from not using all 5 machine cells on Limit Burst, but you'll get a free attack in, and if you have a gun, for example, then you'll do this nuke afterward, or if you have a sword, then you're just going to do a ton of damage from swinging. So Limit Burst is really interesting, and then Tactical Shield is sort of the one thing that you do with leftover machine cells, where...
Well, that doesn't consume machine cells, actually, though.
It does, as long as you have them.
Does it? Because I read it says that it just increases by how many you have. It doesn't say
that is my mistake then. It actually does not eat them then. So you get Veil, you get armor, you get a shield, And then the shield is what, 2,000 plus 500 for each cell, or is it 2,500 plus 500?
500 each cell.
So
You're right on the first one.
so it's 2,000 plus 5?
Correct.
Yeah. So this is like a pretty premier defensive skill here.
I like Veil. Veil's nice.
And armor and shield, so that you can keep the shield up. Sick. And this is before we even talk about how well designed the class champion weapons are. Because let's go into the class champion weapon for this class, because they're, you know, the class champion weapon for Glorybringer, which is one of the ones that I compared it to, kind of doesn't help the class at all. Let's go take a look at the Glorybringer one. And this is one of the reasons they're making new ones, and it's just like, so sure, when you CA you get 5 energy back, but the actual
Ooh.
like effect of using those energy when with the riddle is not that important. It's like you get a passive chaser. But now let's go take a look at what happens with our boy Prototype Reboot. So Prototype Reboot on CA gives 2 machine cells to your main character, which is huge. That gives you it either reactivates your unchallenged if you get hit that turn, or it gives you just a full blitz raid. You get more tactical shield out of it. It's like, okay, sure.
It'll always grant 4,500 for its shield.
It's pretty good. And then based on your machine cells, you get passive chaser in addition to your normal chaser from attacking with a sword equipped as a Relic Buster.
Yeah, it's 10% for each cell.
Does it count before you attack or after you attack?
Before you attack, because it goes up to 5.
Okay. So it goes 50%, and then you attack, and you go down to you use the machine cell to go down to 4 machine cells. I see.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's an infinite loop with the Prototype Reboot, but it requires specifically 3 very specific dark characters. Where it's Vicala, Eustace, the new Eustace, and it's Valentine's Clarice. So you can actually get 100 meter on your MC every turn by getting the 30 from Eustace's uplift. It's normally 20, but because of Vicala, it's 30. Wait, then there's the
Clarice also give you more meter.
There's
as
the
MC.
passive extra meter from Clarice, and then you hit with those 2 machine cells. You hit Blitz Raid, and basically all of that combines to give you 100 again in order to CA and get 2 more machine cells, and then you start all over again. So your MC just CAs every turn and then gets to hit Blitz Raid.
Sounds pretty cool. I like it.
Yeah, Prototype Reboot is pretty cool because it just gives you so many machine cells, because every time you attack as a sword, you get 37 meter. Well, actually 40 meter if you've mastered Mystic. So, you know, it repeats itself a lot. The cycle just repeats itself a lot. And so Celine kind of has a big gap that it has to try and close. And the way that it does it is it just says, oh, you know what, screw it. Instead of equipping Blitz Raid, or maybe in addition to equipping Blitz Raid, just hit Limit Burst. It won't eat your machine cells anymore. Just give your entire team 100 meter on turn 1. It's fine. And also still do other things.
Yeah, I saw the video of it. Someone's comment on it was, this is what SSR Mirren is. Because they did the window Ogi turn.
Mm-hmm.
Because you know how Mirren does the nuke afterwards, or SR version, right?
Yes.
Yeah, this is like double it.
Yeah, because you're gonna do the damage after attack as a gun, but the CA also does a big old nuke at the end, and it does a hit based on how many machine cells you have.
Which are gonna be at max.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And also your wind, so you have area beaks. So this 135k per hit goes up by a lot.
By 100k per
Yeah.
hit. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
And so the thing is that they gave us a free, a free class champion weapon. So by finishing Home Sweet Moon, you get the whatever it's called cube. I want to call it nutrient cube. It's nerve material. And we can pick any single one of these, and I'm just like, man, I want to make like 8 of these things.
I want to make one for every element.
This is wild. There's some wild stuff going on with this class.
Yeah, I'm just like a decision paralysis at this point.
The good thing is this sticks around, so I'm just gonna sit around and see what happens.
Yeah, what tab is it under? Exclusive treasure.
Yeah, it's under quest items, event other, exclusive treasure. Along with the, eventually the Eustace one will go here. The Eustace uncap item.
Yeah, it's good that you don't have to wait a year for your uncap ion.
So yeah, I mean, like, Relic Buster offers so much power. Like, you do have to think about it a little bit, but once you're actually playing it and rolling, it's like, this thing is crazy. So we'll
like, I'm swinging for like million autos.
I'm swinging for like 1.3. It's silly.
It's wild.
If I want to go skill instead, I'm swinging for, you know, still a lot. It's still like 800, 900k. And then after that, it does this like 2.5 million nuke or something silly. It's a lot. This thing is a lot. Like, I have forgotten about the existence of Masquerade, and like Relic Buster is just taking over my brains. Like, Relic Buster.
Yeah, that's why I was questioning why they put them out so close to each other.
It's like Relic Buster, Monk, Lumberjack, and then after that you're just like, I'm gonna have to really think and justify all of these other classes. Anything else to say about Relic Buster?
It's busted? I don't know. It's so good. It's just so good.
Like, there's some thinking involved, like I said. So it's not just like instant, immediate power, because if you're not using it right, then you'll feel sad, just like a Glory Bringer that ran out of energy, right?
And then you'll die because you have 25% less defense.
Mm-hmm. However, once you actually build around that, and there's so many tools that we have to build around that, then they're just like, yeah, just go. Just class go bzzz.
I do like it now. It also makes it so I don't have to choose a mechanic anymore.
Yeah, I mean, like, let's go back into mechanic. I don't even know if I have any mechanic teams anymore.
Let's be honest. The only thing you used mechanic for was for the CA.
Well, I do have a mechanic team technically. It's not a real mechanic team. It is mechanic in picture only. But it's
Amazing.
like all those years ago, I spent to get the what is it? Energy maneuver is it called?
The thing that makes you CA.
Yeah, the thing that gives your entire team CA, that one. And it's just like the thing that crept mechanic out of the game was that not only did Crusaor let you CA twice, but the other thing about it is that it animates way faster than mechanic, because mechanic takes forever to summon the companion, and then you hit that thing, and then the robot has to die, and then you get to attack. And in this one, you just go bzzz, bzzz, your entire team has 100 meter, let's go, and you hit attack, and you're done. It's like, oh, well, all right, that's over and done with. So yeah, crazy good class. All right, I think that's enough to say about Relic Buster. We're gonna move on. We've mentioned this a couple times. Let's talk about Eustace. So,
it's pretty good.
How long had it been since you used Dark Eustace?
When did he come out again? 2018? 2019.
It was 2020 for me. I actually played Dark Dagger for quite a while. Pretty much he was on my Dark Dagger team for fun until I rolled Tanya, and by rolled I mean ticketed Tanya, and then they gave Orchid Dagger for some reason. So, alright. They've done the following things to Eustace, though. It's like, this character is really good, but he fell off a lot in the full auto era because of Splintered Cell. the number one reason to use him, this buff right here, but also Shed Your Blood is actually really good. Um, it just doesn't happen in full auto, and so people just stopped using him. And also, yeah, Dark just got ridiculous characters, and it's not like pairing him up with anybody to give them multi attacks and dodge gives them anything that Dark doesn't already have.
On his solo characters.
Right. So.
Well, here's the thing: you still have to hit the button in order to Splinter Cell.
All right. So. A lot of people were kind of wondering why they gave it to the Dark version when the Earth version is way worse than the Dark version. But I don't know. I honestly can't tell you. I can't tell you the reason. They just chose this one, and
I mean, you only see him in the Dark version during the entire events.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, he's in his dark costume in Granblue Fantasy Versus also. So I know why they gave it to him for this event, plus for GB Versus to promote him and stuff like that to make him very prominent. But yeah, the Earth version is very far behind these days. All right, so let's talk about what they did to him before even talking about his 5-star. So they made Shed Your Blood.
Shed Your Blood.
So Shed Your Blood used to be the button that you hit for his OTK, where it's like he has meter from you doing whatever to give him a bunch of meter, and he did a big nuke after it. If you hit it with 80 meter, let's see here, it was bonus damage for charge attacks. How much was it? It was
630k.
That's pretty significant. It was significant in the era before Shalem. And, like, doesn't Lucius do a bunch of dark damage after he CAs, or do you actually have to press buttons for those?
I don't have them.
Lucius, as an SSR, no, he double casts his next skill, so he doesn't actually nuke after his CA, technically. But yeah, you did it just to do extra damage and extend the power of your OTK a little bit, your chain burst. They're just like, yeah, let's make this button better. People don't hit it often enough, especially when he's below 80 meter. And so, it just casually gives Keen and 10% cap up now.
It's pretty good. Yeah.
That's a really good button. That's like a really good button.
On a 5-turn cooldown. Lasts for 3 turns.
And by 5-turn cooldown, we mean as soon as you uncap him... As soon as you uncap him, he gets a 2-turn cut to his cooldown. So it's actually basically 3 out of 3.
Yeah.
And then at level 90, let's see, what he gets? He gets an upgrade to close combat at level 90. And that...
So it guarantees double attack. The boost to triple attack is 50% now, and also you get 20% uplift for the 2 people who are Splinter Celled.
Yeah, and so, he's at minimum going to earn himself, it's 24 for a double attack and then 20 for just his Splintered Cell. And so that's 44 meter a turn minimum. And so he's going to CA again in 2 turns. And so he's just going to have this effect up permanently. That's all. It's fine.
For an uplift, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah. Just keep uplifting himself and another character and get that 2-man cell going. Or the Splintered Cell.
Especially since he's totally built around hitting all his buttons in the first place for his loaded stacks.
Mm-hmm. And then after that, at level 95, Thunderwolf is what you get. And so this one lets you go to loaded 4, which raises the cap on his post-turn nuke, and then also he gets damage cap up based on loaded. He gets an extra... Well, actually, the damage cap up doesn't go up from 3 to 4. He does get a higher attack up on 4 loaded.
The damage cap up does go up from 3 to 4.
The CA damage cap?
Oh, no, I'm talking about Dead End Fall. The post nuke.
The post nuke goes up on loaded 4, but the actual CA damage cap from just loaded doesn't go up, but
No.
it's still a pretty high cap. The question I have is how is he going to actually build up that much loaded when he CA resets how much loaded he has, and he's gonna be doing this every 3 turns basically.
I mean, he has 5 turn cooldowns.
He has short cooldowns. He's got 3 turn cooldowns.
Then there's 3 turn cooldowns.
Okay, but well, I guess the nice thing is they at level 100 they do give him a 4th skill to hit to get to loaded 4 on when he hits every single one of these abilities. It's a little desynced compared to all of these 5 turn cooldowns, which are actually 3 turn
I don't
cooldowns.
really think like loaded 4 is that important. Loaded 3 is still like the one you want the most
Yeah,
at minimum.
and then yeah, so this last skill, Rat Race, when he throws a grenade, it actually brings up a menu that is relatively unique to GBF characters. Like normally, if you go into there and you target somebody, then it brings you up the like who would you like to target with this skill thing. The only thing that I can think of that brings up like the Rat Race menu is like Ninja and Runeslayer,
Haven't seen that in a while.
and so you get to choose either red grenade or yellow grenade. So red grenade is the damage grenade. It's like okay, sure. It's let's see, how much damage is it on red grenade? It's
700k, and then the 3 turns of 635k.
So the delay action explosives, if you have Fire Ilsa, the summer one, it's pretty familiar where it's just put this debuff on at the end of every turn with this debuff, you get an extra nuke. And the extra nukes, like a lot of characters have these days, they're very welcome. You know? They're just it's free. It's free damage. And this one happens for 3 turns. It's very good. The trade-off if you use yellow grenade is that you do like a little bit less damage. It's what 150k less damage on the nuke, and instead you get accuracy lowered, and you get a chance of paralyzing them.
It's literally a flashbang.
Yeah, so he can either flashbang them, or he can essentially paint the target. He can just like paint artillery. This one's super flavorful. I like it. It's very society. Him and Ilsa doing the target painting for background artillery, backup artillery.
I mean, I was figuring they were gonna have to give him a grenade somewhere because of his description for GB versus.
Yeah, where he uses both a knife, which he already has in his specialties. He doesn't like use it, but it's there. He has a gun, and now he has grenades. So yeah, they're gonna connect him to his GB versus version this way. But it's like this is a really cool upgrade. I like a lot of what's going on here. Like people are annoyed that 2 out of his 4 buttons don't work on full auto. It's like then don't play him full auto. Or if you do play him full auto, you still get 10% cap up. I'm using him in Replicard Sandbox right now just for cap up.
Yeah, it's really hard. It's a really easy hit cap in that one, and then even with the increased cap in Replicard Sandbox books.
Yeah, like he's making my 6 swing for 1.4 million. I'm like, okay, let's go. He's been making a lot of stuff shorter. I enjoy what they did with Eustace's kit. It's flavorful, it's fun, it's powerful, and
yeah,
it actually asks you to play the game in order to get the most out of it. Some people might resent that, but every 3 turns hitting Splintered Cell, not necessarily that fun. I kind of wish that he'd had the thing that like Summer Jean or Folia have, where when he CAs it extends, so you don't have to just keep hitting this button. But oh well.
The problem is that he wants to hit buttons.
He still wants to hit buttons just to get loaded. It's true.
That's pretty much the reason why they made it that way.
Mm-hmm. All right. Let's see here. So that's Eustace. Let's talk about the free character that we got from Home Sweet Moon. So let's go talk about the boy Cassius.
He's back.
His SSR is essentially an upgraded version of his SR. I mean, he's free. So he gives himself supplemental damage, which is something that's very welcome because, I mean, I don't know about you, but whenever I used SR Cassius, it was specifically for his 8-hit nuke.
And having supplemental damage on multiple hits is pretty good.
Yeah. Do you have the number off top of your head of how much his supplemental is?
Let me check.
Okay.
According to this, 70k.
So it gives him 560k on differential, and the thing about differential, this version of it, like Event Cassius differential gave him counter on dodge. This one is like, nah, screw that. It gets to dispel. And the thing is that his passive says when the enemy uses a special attack, he gets it back. He can just whenever the enemy does something, for example, giving itself a buff, then he gets his dispel back for free.
Which enemy are you talking about, Dom?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe a certain Lumi Omega who can literally get just set played for 50% and never do anything to you when you use this very free character to fight it.
Yeah, it's really nice. It's really nice. Also, having more of these spells is always a good thing in the first place.
I mean, that's one of the reasons I've used Vikala for so long, is that she just passively dispels things. Um, and then, yeah, so the rest of his kit, it's like dark damage that does 10% attack and defense down. Max of 30, so it's like the average version of it rather than the good version. Eh.
It's pretty.
He gets to hit it twice with overclock. He gives himself extra meter. And then the last one is, if he's ever in red health, he fills himself back. How much does he heal? He heals for 5,000, so it's not all the way back up to the top. But he gets all of his skills back. So, I have a friend who was trying to figure out how to play a Dark Spear team. Which, do you remember what they did to Lady Grey?
Made her way better.
Yeah, but do you remember the specific way they made her better? They gave her Green Haze, which is supplemental damage on every hit. So they play really well together. It's like Cassius, Kolulu, and Lady Grey just seems really fun.
There's a lot of skill damage being thrown around.
There's a whole lot of skill damage being thrown around for sure. So anyway,
according to this, apparently, according to the wiki, the spinal reflex circuit can activate multiple times in a turn.
So he can just give himself full meter.
Probably.
Depends
on how many enemies are doing this.
Yeah, or if it's freaking Gilbert with like Gilbert, or what was it? Proud Mugen, I think, who had a bunch of different, just multiple triggers could happen in the same turn, depending on what conditions were fulfilled. But yeah, it's fun. It's like, it's a very plain kit. It doesn't necessarily need to be more than this though, because this is still effective. You just get to throw around a whole lot of 8-hit nukes, and you know who else gets to do that? Kolulu.
Yeah, before I actually do his Fate episode, I'm gonna keep him for the current free quest that's going on.
Yeah, yeah. That was something that I did with the very first version of Cassius. Was I went into special, and he's a free way to one-shot the campaign exclusive quest. Just press differential and it kills it. As long as you have enough, you can actually hit the cap on the skill damage.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not. The SR Cassius, I'm sorry you're never gonna get your Fate episode, but this one will though.
Yeah, I actually really like his Fate episode. It is a fitting ending to Home Sweet Home. Not ending, an epilogue to Home Sweet Moon. I keep getting the name of this event wrong. I've called it Home Stay Moon at least twice.
I mean, it's called Stay Moon in Japanese, so.
And also, I just keep thinking of Fate Stay Night.
Alright, anyways.
Isn't Robin Hood better? Well, I mean, it is now, but a lot of people don't have Robin Hood, and just by hitting skip a bunch of times, you can get Cassius. Like, the reason I used Event Cassius before was Robin Hood didn't exist yet.
Yep, for, like, many years.
Yeah. So anyway, that's it for Cassius, I think. So let's go talk about the exciting new characters. The ones that are in the draw. Alright. So we've
Did you
got
get either of these
ourselves.
characters?
What was that?
Did you get either of these characters
I
for
got
3-year-olds?
Beatrix.
Okay, cool. We both got the same characters then.
Okay, so let's start with the character that we have then, Bea. First of all, let's just watch her CA because this thing is dope.
The CAs in this event were so cool.
They were so good looking. Like they essentially took what they did in Demon Slayer and they were like, yeah, let's just keep doing that. All right, so SSR Bea, Earth, Sword, super crowded. So let's just see what they can do to make her good. Let's just go straight to the point and go to Rising Nova.
Hey,
Where-
look, I recognize this effect.
Stop me if you've seen this effect before, but it's
Ah.
a 4-turn cooldown that eats 40% of her health to attack twice, give her jammed, and then chase her.
8-turn jam, chaser for the turn, and double strike. I think I've seen this before.
It's so the 40% of her own health, I mean, like, yeah, Swimsuit Beatrix has this now where it's like that, and she was part of the adjustment, right, where Swimsuit Bea also has double strike on it now.
Yes.
Yeah. So, all right, they gave her the Swimsuit Beatrix / like Predator / Zeta thing. All right, okay. So now this effect is in 4 elements that I can think of off the top of my head. And then the thing is that the rest of her kit is built around her being in trouble. So they did the whole flavor thing where she needs to be low in order to do things. So she has the classic unworldly CA, but
Oh, classic. You say classic, but it started with literally with all 3 of the gotcha society characters having this right now.
uh, it's also on a couple of other characters like Robomi who has it with a drawback. So activate answer splatter, so it does her nuke, and then after that she'll triple attack. Sounds great, right? But she can't do it unless she's in red health.
Oh no, she doesn't have to be
Not
red.
just-
She has to be 50%.
Sorry, you're right. She has to be low because it consumes this unique buff called Immortal Blue. And how do you get Immortal Blue?
Go down to Delta Clock and you'll find the answer there.
So when she TAs, she gets the clock. So this is like her old dark mechanic before they had to fix it because people just didn't enjoy using that. So the clock gives her skill damage up and skill damage cap up. And
He
then
doesn't have anything on this, so
yeah, Wiki doesn't know the numbers. But also 20% earth damage chaser when she has Immortal Blue, which requires her to be at 50% or lower. And yeah, it eats that buff in order to actually Immortal Raid.
that's fine because when she's below 50%,
She just gets it again. And then so there's Embrask Resonance as her other support skill, where based on her HP, then she ups everybody else's attack up, and it's on a unique mod.
correct.
So pretty good. How her charge meter is only 20% slower than normal because she doesn't guarantee triple attack. She just guaranteed double attacks. Oh no.
I mean, that's not bad.
Yeah, exactly. It's fine. Like this character has way fewer drawbacks than like what they did to pile drawbacks onto Zeta to see if people wouldn't use her. All right, and then the rest of the kit. We can actually she actually has a skill 1 and a skill 2. She has an attack up, defense up that stacks to 50% for every time that she hits skill 1, which is, you know, it looks like it's a 6-turn cooldown, but because of how fast you're going to hit yourself down to low health and get Immortal Blue to get Immortal Raid and then cast it again, not so bad.
I thought her CA just activates it.
Yep. He just presses it. And also, based on how far ahead that she's gone ahead in the clock, then if you wait to use it until she's low, she can just like get all 4 at once. And then yeah, Immortal Raid and get the 5th. So this one, rewards you a little bit for thinking about hitting it, maybe, or you're just gonna slam it.
Not really. Just slam it.
Just slam it.
You still if you want the extra activations, you need a triple attack multiple times.
And
just
then
slam it.
And then this last one, absolute survival. So she gives herself undying, which the fire version of her has a chance of getting. She can just press a button to do it. She gets counter on dodge or tank. And she gets more counters based on how far her clock is.
2 for each clock.
So she can counter 8 times with this thing, which is pretty funny. If you've ever watched 6 counter 6 times, he's just so angry. He's just so angry.
And also, please remember that you get meter for countering.
5 meter each counter. So she can
it's
just
gonna be less.
Well,
but...
for her, it's gonna be 4 meter a counter. So you can get like 32 meter out of this from Bea.
There's also like no reason not to hit this button around start because the undying lasts indefinitely.
It just lasts until used.
Yeah.
Phew.
It's pretty good.
Pretty good.
On triple attack. I don't know why. Wait, hold on. Why does she have a double attack node?
She has a, wait, hold on. She has a double attack node. Let me see this.
Oh, hopefully they fix that. Hold on. I'm looking at the wiki. That's why.
Let's go take a look. Hold on. Every other time they've done this, they've fixed it later. So let's take a look. Add bonuses. She does not have a double attack node. They filled
Alright, Wiki needs to fix itself. It's a triple attack
Wiki
node.
needs to fix itself. This is not actually double attack. They just filled. They filled in based on what is
Race.
it? Race. Like attack and then personal. Whew. Good character. The problem I have is like there's so much to do in Earth.
We should stop talking about that.
Yeah.
We really should stop talking about that.
We'll find a way. I'll find a way to use her. I'll find a way. The next character just looks really fun. So
Big Daddy.
Yeah, our boy Isaac. Isaac came back from the moon. He put on his environment suit again. And this character has learned a lot of lessons from previous versions of this. So the first thing I'm going to do is go down to his drawback. His drawback is he has a low multi-attack rate. But
it's different than certain other wording.
So you want to just take a look at that other wording real quick?
Do you have them?
I do. Okay. Wind, gun.
Yeah, so Medion, Christmas Medion.
Medion cannot multi-attack.
Unless he's in Nitro Burst.
Unless he's in Nitro Burst, so he has to turn on Nitro Burst. The other character actually I can think of that that had that drawback is a character that even when he was released in the very early period of that's weapons. In the very early period of GBF that he came out was still considered bad. Do you remember?
Oh. Well, chat spoiled me on that one.
Howlmaru. And he has a chance to miss too. It's like, why?
Sam Show. Just pick Nakaguru instead if you're actually using one of those two characters.
Alright, so anyway, Nakaguru was actually decent for her time. Let's go back to this. Let's go to Isaac and talk about how that's a much better version. So, Christmas Medion nukes after his attack and gets 10 meter. Isaac, when he attacks, activates Plasma Ripper, which gives him 20 meter.
Hey, that's way better. And you get a nuke. That's pretty good. And
yeah,
he can actually still multi-attack.
He's allowed to multi-attack. Just because he has a bad multi-attack rate does not actually mean that he's barred from doing it. So you can actually do a full-ass triple attack with this character and then get a Plasma Ripper at the end. And the Plasma Ripper can get pretty beefy. Once again, it's like
635k without any bonuses.
And that's the same nuke that you get from Gun Relic Buster, which is relevant because most of the videos that I've seen that use Isaac use it with Gun Relic Buster. Because they're just like, yeah, just reject modernity, return to Nuki. All right. So his general like pattern is he will punch and then he will shoot, and he's really highly rewarded for actually triple attacking. So if you give him triple attack and he gets triple attack, he will triple attack and his damage is amped. How much is his damage amp? Let me take a look.
30%.
Jeez, 30%. That's what Relic Buster gets. And then yeah, so that's just when he attacks. So when he starts the fight, he gets a shield. He starts with a shield of 6k.
6k shield, yeah.
While he has a shield, he's immune to debuffs, and he's got the Orchid thing where one hit cannot remove his shield. It has to take multiple hits in order to remove his shield. So that'll take down his. Go ahead.
He caps fire damage by 5k.
Yeah. And then he has a bunch of ways to refresh it because his shield refreshes whenever he CAs. He gets to hit Thermal Blade every time he CAs, and his Thermal Blade is a really big nuke, 1.2 million base. So that's gonna
it hits both foes if there's more than one foe too. I'm like, okay.
And like, so Plasma Ripper we said is pretty good. It's 630k. It's the Relic Buster nuke with the gun. This does twice that damage. And he's also going to have 25-25 local attack down, defense down. And because, at minimum, he's going to get 90 meter over 3 turns, on the 4th turn, he's probably going to be able to CA again.
Probably, yeah.
And refresh that and press it again. Because, yeah, this cooldown lies to you. No, never trust his cooldown.
That cooldown is if you're not doing it, if you like put yourself in full defense, I guess.
If you have blocked for 4 turns in V2, you're still gonna get it from Thermal Blade and Handy Dandy Excavation before you're going to have the actual skill cooldown. Like it takes 8 turns of Isaac doing nothing but blocking for this cooldown to become relevant.
Yeah, even then, before 8 turns, yeah, I don't know, man.
And then yeah,
let's talk about skill 3.
And then skill 3, he gets 2 turns of full CA. He gets a miniature version of the Eugen like multi-ignition, auto-ignition is what it's called. So he gets full CA. Then at the end of the turn he gets full CA, and at the end of the next turn he gets full CA. So he gets 3 uses of this stuff.
That's 3 Thermal Blades.
That's 3 Thermal Blades. This is crazy. I love it. He's a defense character. You should never believe a defense
never
character.
Believe styles.
Never believe
styles
defense
in this
style.
Game.
Ever. Never believe. Never believe. I want this character.
Yeah, unfortunately, because he's a quote unquote defense character. His style is 2 defense nodes for EMPs. It's okay. He has 2 skill cap ups as his personals.
Yeah, so he's tanky and he throws around nukes a lot. So they succeeded in making, like, this character doesn't tank, he's just tanky. So he's not gonna interfere with like Romeo, he's not gonna interfere with Vayne, he's not gonna like fight for Halloween Rosetta's spot or anything like that. He's just gonna live for a real long time and nuke all over the place. Like, if this character gets hit by Wilness's 3 million damage hit or anything like that, it's actually just gonna look like it does 0 because it's gonna hit a 6,000 shield for 5,000.
It's pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah. This just looks cool. And then his weapon is 4-starable, but
the plasma slicer is.
What was that?
The plasma slicer is. That's cool.
It is 4-starable. The problem with it is that it doesn't do anything new. So it's Mystery, Arts, and Excelsior. The arts part is different from Gottfried, admittedly. And it's really good for Isaac and Isaac specifically because of the skill damage cap. Actually, come to think of it, because it's arts, Water did not have an arts weapon in Primal like this. Not that I think of. Like, I was thinking of the Clarion, but the Clarion's an EX.
Yeah.
Anyway, good weapon. I've changed my thoughts about it because I realized it was arts along with its Mystery and Excelsior. Because I was thinking about...
At least this gun makes more sense that it has 1 trigger.
Which is the one that has 2 triggers again? Is it the Celine?
It's Celine, I believe.
I'm gonna go look at that again. Why does this gun have 2 triggers?
Yeah, it's Celine.
Why does it have 2 triggers?
I don't know. I don't know what the second trigger is supposed to do.
Oh lord.
You can't even put like a good defense on for the grip because there's a second hole right there for the grip.
I don't know, man. I don't know. All right, so that's all of the new characters. And so that's pretty much it for us in terms of stuff that is new. Would you like to talk about what's coming next week? Because they've revealed all 10 Evoker passives.
Yeah, let's go over that.
Okay, so we're gonna have to switch things up a little bit. Give me a second. We're moving over to this view, and we're gonna go to my notes on the Evoker EMPs. So Maria Teresa. There it is. So Evoker EMPs. So there's 4 nodes. We talked about this, and you have to uncap the new foundation weapon to full to get these things. So we've talked about Maria Teresa before, where when you get Empress upright, your entire water team gets guts, which makes it easier to use her health copy when everybody's in red, because it's much more difficult to kill you. And if they try to kill you, you stop at 1 hit point. She can copy that 1 hit point and then use her heal to get everybody to full.
And everybody got super powered.
Right. Kaim we talked about. Kaim no one's going to use. Unfortunate. Oops. Alright. Moving on though. Actually, so where are you going to put Maria Teresa on your priority for new foundation weapons because of this?
Soon.
You're gonna do her soon? Yeah.
After Frau. Well, actually no. After Nier.
I'm gonna probably put her right before Geisenborger now, the shooting of the star. So yeah, this is a good effect along with her weapon actually being really good, because once again that unworldly CA with a drawback is actually crazy good. We could use it with Relic Buster.
It's just adding up.
Yeah. All right, but then Frau is the one that I'm most excited about, because she gets, when she CAs, it gives her skill 3 back, Indominus. How much does your Indominus deal whenever you press it, DJ?
Yes.
It's like 4 million?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and so this is the same effect that Toyen has when you transcend her. Admittedly, it's more damage on Toyen because it does like 6 million because when she double casts Clincher.
But you know what? This thing heals for like 7,000 for me or so.
It heals for a whole lot, and it removes 2 debuffs.
And also gives her the stacking attack defense that you wanted to wrap up in the first place.
Yeah, and on the way to getting this EMP anyway, she's gonna give herself another 10% skill damage cap up. So when I said that mine does like 3.6 million or something like that, it's actually 4 million. So I'm making Kiss of the Devil first.
How far along are you on your uncap?
I am at 2-star Kiss of the Devil.
Now you're a little bit further than me because I have to take a break from Sandbox.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, take breaks. This is something that I will always say on this show.
Well, my break was forced to a different grind.
Oh yeah, you're in the Akasha mines for longer than I was. All right, and then Lobelia's is actually also crazy, but it requires him to be in the back line at least to start. Whoops, I keep doing this. So Lobelia's is, whenever Tower Reversed activates, which is whenever an ally in the front line hits a skill when Lobelia is in the back, then before it gave them stacking skill cap up. Now it's also going to give them attack and defense up stacking. And the thing about this is, the buff doesn't go away, and it's permanent when he comes out front. So you're gonna press a bunch of buttons. You're gonna get a bunch of attack and defense up. And the thing is that this stacking defense up, if you also have Kime back there, they're probably going to stack. Yeah,
That's pretty good. Yeah.
it's pretty good. The main issue with Lobelia is that his weapon is the most boring weapon out of all of these things.
What do you mean? You don't like casting the tower? Yeah. Anyways.
I don't like casting the tower. That's correct.
Anyways.
All right. So Geisenborger is one of the two that requires his New World Foundation weapon. So you have to have a gun main hand. And when the shooting of the star CAs, then Geisenborger is going to gain Light Chaser. And Light Chaser for a Geisenborger is pretty good because he can quad attack. Also, on the way there, he's going to get 6% amplified attack damage on his EMPs.
All right.
And it's not like there's a shortage of good gun main hand classes that can use defense from Geisenborger. Alright. Hosselia is not going to change the way that she's used. She's just going to get even better at really, really hard fights. So, every time she hits a linked skill, she's going to heal for 1500 for the entire team.
That link skill that she double casts when she comes to the front line.
Yes. So, really, she's actually going to heal for 3000. And also going to give you a bunch of meter or debuff or... Yeah?
Or yeah.
Or actually, no, sorry, the meter comes from the non-link skill. She's either going to give you unchallenged and give you 1500 health, or she's going to debuff and delay and heal you for 1500. So, pretty spammable. Not as much healing as Frau, but given the rest of her kit being so defensively, like, excellent, it's a really good kit. Is it all teams or just all party members? I'm just saying your team, not every party. It's not a raid-wide heal. I would say it was raid-wide. So here's that's Hosselia. Alanon's is the other one that is tied to the weapon. We've talked about how Alanon was so ridiculous that we kind of fell behind on this one. Because, like, the Heat of the Sun is the katana that gives your team drain when you
drain to allies that have a double strike.
So it's only the first three. So the fourth person does not get this. But this is important. One of the things about Alanon is that he can kind of consider like a one-cycle character because his cooldowns are so freaking long that by the time that you're done, it's like the fight's over. Either you're dead or the enemy's dead. Unless, when you use the Heat of the Sun, one of Alanon's abilities, its cooldown gets reduced by up to 5 turns. And given that you're using the Sun, and given that you're a katana class, and a lot of katana classes are really good at gaining meter, you could actually reasonably cast his skills a second time. Maybe.
We'll see.
Maybe.
Someone's gonna make a combo video.
Yeah. And then Katsulia just is already really good at defense. It's going to make him even better at defense. Whenever he CAs, along with the many other good defensive effects that you get from Katsulia's CA, which is he gets, Earth Switch, and Earth Damage Reduction. He's also going to heal and remove a debuff from everybody when he CAs.
Thanks, cats.
So you're just going to get even better at soloing things. Huh. So that's gonna come out next week.
You missed 2 people.
What was that?
You missed Nier and Astariola.
Where did those go? Did I not list those? Did I not get to the tweet? I must have missed the tweet. Let me go to the thread. There it is. Nier and Astariola. Here they are. So Nier actually so you know what? I was wrong then. There are 3 that are related to the New World Foundation weapon. When I was going over my notes, I forgot that I missed Nier and Astariola because of how WordPress threads tweets. Alright, so Nier gets a 15% CA damage cap her CA damage was already ridiculous. But
Yep.
when your MC uses the Pain of Death, activates the CA on that, Nier is going to gain 3 turns of life, 6 Love's Redemptions. That's really good. It means that she's going to be a frontline permanent character if you want her to be.
Yeah.
Like, it restricts you to dagger main hand, and you need to CA more often because it's not permanent because you gain 3 turns of life if you're not pressing any buttons on her, and usually you short yourself after you use the CA on Pain of Death, so you lose a turn of meter gain.
Unless you get rid of the shorten.
Unless you get rid of the short. Like, one of the ways that I was thinking of was just Doctor. Just hit Vaccine, and then you hit...
and then you CA.
Then you CA, and it gets rid of the shorted at the end of the turn. And, yeah. It just really, really extends the amount of time she can stay out there to being close to permanent if you want it to be. Close. Not actually
Not
permanent, but...
Yeah.
It extends her life on the front line by a whole lot. Like, before, she was limited to, what, 14-ish turns by not pressing any buttons?
Yeah, that's with her revive already in mind.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, she can stay out now, and she can press more buttons, and I like this one.
You choose to kill someone else.
Yeah. And then Astariola, he's got to get 2 more skill damage cap nodes.
Yeah, why not?
20%.
Why not? This character is pretty good already. Let's just give him more skill damage. There's nothing wrong
This
here.
character got big buffed. And then yeah, when you Gale Burst, with Astariola in your back line, then your team gains Dispel Cancel.
Dispel Cancel is always nice.
And you're already getting because you're chain bursting in the first place, you also get a good buff out of it from having Astariola backline. So, the main thing is that since you 3-starred a Theater of Temperance, you probably just want to be playing with that thing. Because Astariola with the Theater of Temperance is pretty ridiculous. It's like,
What you mean he does so much damage on his nuke because he doesn't attack?
it's so good now. I love using Astariola. I think you've also come over to the side of using buffed Astariola.
Oh, he turned not Webd. Is it Webd? No, it's Galleon. He turned Galleon from the worst, my least favorite fight, to my favorite fight.
Oh man, it's definitely time for the sleep train. All right.
Heck yeah.
So now that I've actually remembered to do all of that, you want to go over the stats from the live stream?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. Let's go. Blah. So, stats from the live stream. The first one that we're going to look at, we're not going to look at every single slide. We're going to look at, so this is the number of people who have 1 through 10 not evokers, Eternals. And so the blue is how many people had them as of December. The orange is how many have them as of March, the beginning of March specifically. And so, yeah, 34,000 more people got all 10 Eternals. Another 22,000, no, sorry, not 22,000, 16,000 people have all of them uncapped.
All right.
Okay, sure.
That graph always amuses me because the right number will always go up no matter what.
Mm-hmm. However, yeah, there are like fewer and fewer people. Let's see here. There were some numbers that diminished. It was mostly the people who only have 1 Eternal, and then like these numbers went slowly down, and then the all I have all 10 just keeps going up. This is a set though that I was pretty interested in. So this is the December Granblue Fest one of each Eternal.
All right.
The blue line is how many people had each in summer, and the orange line is how many had them in as of like Christmas. And then here's that same chart that goes from December to March. So, um, nothing. It's just interesting to look at, just seeing how the numbers go up and such.
They're still relatively the same pattern.
It is. Uh, there's like a little bit to, if you want to go into the nitty gritty about how many more people got certain ones. So it's like there was a huge acceleration, not a huge acceleration. There was an acceleration in the number of people who got 4, for example. Uh, and then this is the other big one for me. This is the number of uncapped 5-star Eternals as of December. So remember that huge spike in 6s?
Yeah, yeah.
So this time, the huge spike was in 2? Because normally 2 doesn't have this big of a spike. Normally 2 is one of the most popular anyway. She's now clearly the most uncapped.
I think people saw some of the Ascendant stuff and said, "I want to be that."
Because she was in 3rd place as of December, and behind 8 and 10, and barely ahead of 6. And now she's just number 1. So yeah, a lot of people said, "I want that" from number 2 and transcended her. Like they had to 5-star her first and then transcend her. Here's an interesting one also. So Thief overtook 3. 3 is now the least popular Eternal to uncap to 5.
Really, even after rebalance.
Even after rebalance, possibly because of rebalance. But whatever they did to 3, people don't want it. They just don't want it.
I still think like sacrificing all your life for a giant nuke is not that great.
Like the other stuff is good. It's just that it's inconsistent. You don't have the stuff when you want it. Basically, when Axe version gets, the counter, and Sword gets the ability to attack out of turn. So you have to CA first, and then you can attack out of turn. So you have to not press your buttons, then gain a bunch of meter, then press the buttons, which gains you a bunch of meter, then gets you out of Sword mode, so you're not going to hit the good buttons again.
Yeah, the switching still is annoying. So
yeah,
I don't blame people.
Yeah, I don't blame them either. The switching mechanic has been pretty awkwardly implemented in a lot of their versions. So
a lot of times nowadays, switching is put on a button, but you can't do that with her. She has already 4 buttons.
I feel like they need to do something with the number 3 and give her more satisfying buttons. Like she's strong.
5th button. Let's go.
Yeah. So anyway, that's about the uncaps there. Did you see anything else in the numbers?
Not really, other than the 2.
Okay. All right. This one we talked about this. This is the number of each Eternal who are transcended.
Speaking of 2.
Yeah, she's got the most easily understood power on her new CA. Because it's just like, yeah, she does the new CA, and then you do another 6 million damage.
Yeah, just cast Clincher again.
Just cast it again twice.
Yeah, it's really good. It's really big. It's
yeah.
like 6 million.
And then 4 gives team utility, where it's like, not just does he give the double attack, triple attack, which a lot of characters can provide now, he also gives your entire team Chaser. It's like, okay, cool. And I also just enjoy this character a lot. So let's go 4. I'm trying to remember if I was, yeah, I was one of these at the time. That's right. I uncapped him I transcended him on day 1. People keep asking me if I'm going to transcend 1. I don't know. It depends on how many flawed prisms we're allowed to trade for on April 1st.
Also, things are going to also depend on like the rest of the transcendence because we're still on step 1.
Yeah, so I can transcend 3 more with my current flawed prism supply, which is the only thing keeping me from transcending more. And so I know it's going to be. I've already done 4. I'm going to do 6 next, and then I'm just going to hold it and see what happens for the other like 2 or 3 that I'll be able to do.
I mean, I'm definitely doing 10.
That's fair. But yeah, like with the ones that we know so far, these numbers make a lot of sense. All right, so there are 2,680 people who actually have transcended all 4 of them.
Ah, yes.
That's a lot of flawed prisms. That's the only that's the thought I had in my head. It's like that is a lot of flawed prisms.
This
That
is
is
not surprising to me, though.
30,000 flawed prisms. I'm just like I can't commit that. I can't.
Just go to Angel Halo. It's easy. No one says ever.
Or the Violet trial. Yeah, no thanks.
Yeah, no thanks. That has too much garbage in it.
And so related to that, here's the popularity ranking for putting each Eternal in your GBF handbook as your current goal. So it goes 2, 10, 7, 6, 4, 3 is still like barely outside the upper half because when you're at that point, you're just like, I could really use Ground Zero right now.
I could really do Arcarum.
Yeah. Oh, then you go 9, 1, 8, and 5 as goals. So it's just like, yeah, Toyen, really good early. Now, really good late. She is actually like the best single turn-by-turn damage dealer in light. It's a pretty big turnaround. All right, so this next one, this next slide, is the number of people who had a certain number of evokers recruited as of December.
All right, I think I was in the 8s during this time.
I'm pretty sure I was at 10.
You were at 10.
This is 3 months later. So this is the same slide between 3 months. And so 15,000
That's a lot of people who got 10.
15,000 people made it to 10. 6,000 people were at 9. I'm pretty sure that all of the people who were at 9 didn't stay there and went into the 10 bracket. But yeah, there's the main thing to take away from this. There's a lot of people playing this game. Look at this.
That's a lot, yeah.
Because the numbers at 1 and 2 evokers and even 3 evokers stay relatively stable. And then the numbers of everything else go up a lot.
Oh yeah, also remember that for actually you were talking about evokers. Never mind. Continue.
Yeah. I'm just saying that like there's a lot. Like
Sandbox does help this. As surprising as it is. It actually does help these numbers.
Mm-hmm. So I'm just gonna do some like napkin math here. So this is about 400,000 players who have made it to at least one evoker.
And you are definitely playing the game when you actually have an evoker.
Mm-hmm.
Unlike the Eternals, there was an event for a free Eternal. Remember this.
Mm-hmm.
So those numbers are inflated by that event alone.
Because yeah, it was like there's 50,000 people who were added to this list in 3 months. Anyway, so now we get to go into who has what evoker. So this was
Helnon's pretty good.
This was December. So a lot of people remember there were between summer and winter we had a huge spike in Nears.
I think that's also because Guild War was in that time frame too.
Yes, Dark Unite and Fight was in that time frame. We doubled the number of people who had Astariola between summer and winter, and then we doubled them again in the last 3 months.
Hey, look, he's really good, man. It's just really hard to sell him.
And they rebalanced him. I'm just gonna say something though. So in between December and March, we had about 16,000 people, 17,000. It's closer to 17,000 people who went from not having Astariola to having Astariola. Coincidentally, about 15,000 more people had all 10. So only like 2,000 people went out of their way to get Astariola before they finished everything.
Look, man, it's really hard to sell this character at first.
But yeah, like the giant spike on Nier ended. We had a lot of people picking up Kaim. We had a lot of people picking up Alanon. We had a lot of people picking up Geisenborger because, well, we had Light Unite and Fight in January. And so,
I think one of the main things also to think about for this takeaway is that the ones that have the highest like people have is because the summon that they're attached to is also really good.
Yeah, like Alanon the Sun is actually one of the best summons, period. Death is really, really, really strong, even though you have to build around it. Like the sun, you just insert it into anything and it's good. Uh, Death, you actually do have to like plan around it.
But also, don't forget these are also the cap up summons.
Yes. Kaim, yeah, Kaim is just an 11th weapon slot, so he was already one of the most popular. But yeah,
Heisenberg allows you to take Proto Bahamut like nothing.
he also made Dex meaningless too. The proud at the end of Home Sweet Moon. It's just you see a big gunshot and does 10k, and you're like, oh, that probably could have killed a normal person.
Yeah, I follow the fights.
I didn't, but I could have. Yeah, Hasselio went from being ahead of Geisenborger to being behind Geisenborger, largely because Light Unite and Fight. Because I expect by the time we hit the summer stream, because of Water Unite and Fight, she'll be ahead of him. But maybe not. I'm not sure.
You know, like, yeah, Spike and Maria Teresa instead.
Yeah, you're right. It could just be a big spike in Maria Teresa. But Maria Teresa is the hit point summon, and then Hasselio is the cap up summon. So I think I think there'll be more Hasselias. Because there were 36k people who made Hasselia, and there were only 32k people who made Maria Teresa. So Hasselia maintained a slight lead. Pretty interesting stuff on this one. Alright.
Yeah.
This is the number of each Arcarum summon at 5 stars. So, there are 50,000 people who have all of the Arcarum summons at 5 stars. And going back, there's only 20,000 people who have all. So there's 30,000 people who are Saphira Evilite gated. That's my thought on this.
Yeah, I don't doubt that at all.
Yeah, that's a tough one. That's a tough one. Because you can get the 5-star Arcarum summon, and then you're just like, alright, Evilite wins, games.
Ironically, you can also probably get the summon done before you even fight the summon for real. That actually happened to me once.
Oh, really?
I forget which summon I didn't fight.
Wow. So yeah, unfortunate on this one. Here's the breakdown on each of the summons. This pretty much maps to Evoker creation. Like it's pretty much the same graph.
And it also maps to these are the cap up ones.
Mm-hmm. This is the interesting one. These are the new foundation weapons that were made before we knew that they were going to be attached to Evoker EMPs. So number 1 is Pain of Death. Number 2 is Shooting of the Star.
So the Pain of Death one makes sense because you can loop reviving near.
It also makes sense because if you're doing Replicard Sandbox to the point where you're doing one boss a day, the easy boss, you actually get twice as much death and star as you do any other because they're
in 2 routes.
They're in 2 routes. And so, I mean, I don't know about you, but I've finished my Pain of Death. I'm at 2 stars with my Shooting of the Star. And so I'm just like, oh, and I still have a bunch of like Death Ideans and Dark Astra to spare.
I'm actually kind of surprised at Kiss of the Devil.
Yeah, what does Kiss of the Devil actually do as its CA effect again?
Well, it's not only CA effect; it also has like more damage, more damage to skills when they're affected by the special burn.
That's right. You get 50% skill cap up when you CA with this thing. I see. And you get supplemental damage against the red heat burn. Yeah, okay.
You know, which is really easy if you're playing Frau.
Yeah, you're right. These are the things that let's make predictions on how this graph will look after summer. So, I think Theater of Tempers is going to go way up. I think Rise of Justice is going to go way up. And I think the rest of this will stay relatively the same. What do you think?
Rise of Justice is... I think a lot of people are actually going to make it now because of a Unite and Fight, though.
Water Unite and Fight? Yeah, I think it's going to go way up.
Because this thing does unworldly damage for a one-turn team.
Yeah, and you can equip it as a Relic Buster.
Yeah!
It all wraps in circles.
Well, Pain of Death, I think will stay relatively the same, but it's already up there, so it doesn't matter.
Okay, that's fair. All right.
I don't think Temperance is still gonna go up because it requires a lot more people to actually have
Astariola.
Astariola.
I think it's not going to be 9th place anymore, though. I think it'll overtake probably the Hanged Man Spear. It might overtake the Tower Hammer. And it might even overtake the Heat of the Sun. Probably not, but maybe.
It's possible.
So those are my predictions. I'll forget about these predictions by the time we hit summer, but after summer we'll compare these numbers again. Hopefully.
Oh yeah, I forgot the stupid what's it called? The one for what's his face? Catsilia.
Yeah, the least
one that
popular.
Turns your defense into, the one that turns your defense into offense.
Yeah, that one. I don't know about that one.
I don't know about that one, man.
Especially since, like I said, his EMP is not really game breaking when you get it. It's just a nice to have. So
yeah,
it's not game changing, not game breaking. Yeah. So this one is for fun. This one was there are 1,500 people who used 90 Arcarum passports in the same day, and 7 of them played it manually. That's nuts.
The nuts part is the 7 to play manually. Really,
Not
I could spend 90 in a day.
Because all you need to do is fight 30 bosses, right? You fight 30 bosses, and a lot of them you get in one turn. But 7 people doing all of their Arcarum, 90 of their Arcarum in a single day.
You have to hit cap, right?
You do hit the points cap. So why do you keep going? What happened?
I guess they really wanted to get this Evoker done.
What happened?
They really wanted this Evoker done.
I guess. They need to do 10 laps. Alright, this one's a just for fun one. So, I don't know about you guys out there. I have gotten 1 Tsushinoko skin in 3.5 months of having this summon. I
have 0 Tsushinokos, so I can't even be part of the statistic.
I'm pretty surprised that there are 72,000 of these things out there as of the anniversary stream.
To be fair, there's a lot of people who play this game going back to that 3 points.
So Joshua asks, what does it do? It sells for 50,000 rupees. And
All right, next slide then.
If you sold those 72,000 and almost 500 Tsushinoko skins, then it would be worth, hold on, let's see, 3.6 billion rupees. You've gotten 16 Tsushinoko skins? I've only gotten 1. I'm envious.
That's pretty cool. Funny.
So speaking of really funny, so these are the slides for, like, this is much more along the lines of just like seeing big numbers and going, why is this number so big? So Ixaba's a really popular weapon. You can stack up to like 5 of them in a reasonable grid, and then 193 of the people have 7 of them at 4 stars. 3 people have 9 of them at 4 stars.
Why not?
You're just showing off.
Oh, wait till the next slide.
Yeah. One person has 10 Benettias. There's no reason to have even more than 1 Benettia. You're just showing off because it's like, I just roll a lot. I have these 10 Benettias. Like,
you can use 3.
This is the funniest one to me. The Purifying Thunderbolt. So second place, there are 67 people with 3 4-star Purifying Thunderbolts. That is mildly reasonable because at 3 4-star Purifying Thunderbolts, you have guaranteed crit. You don't have any attack with that crit, but you can put them in the same grid.
You've also already maxed out on Sentence.
You've already maxed out on Sentence. Then there's just one person with 7 of them.
There's no in between. There's no in between.
There's nobody between 3 and 7. Why? This person really loves Shiva. Yeah, the Ono Yuki school of weapon hoarding. Exactly. Every single person on this list is just being a memer. So
Fist of Destruction is not a meme.
Fist of Destruction is not a meme.
That one's reasonable.
Yeah, having 2 of them is actually very reasonable. 3 of them is a little more questionable, but then there's the 4 people with 4 of them, and at that point you're just saying how much you love Reinhardt's are.
I mean, you can still use 4. That's the thing.
That is true. Because then you can start basically critting with only 1 Agni, was it?
1 Agni.
Yeah. Alright, here's the next slide. We've got Galilee's Insight. 1 person with 8, 2 people with 5. Blue Spheres, we got 7, 6, and 5 of those things. When do you max out?
You can only use like 3 of these. You can only use 3 of these in a grid.
12 Merglaces!
You can't even use 12 in a grid.
Yeah, Nakamura was like, Granblue Fantasy is a game where you can only equip 10 weapons. Like,
you can't even put it in the extra slot in Sandbox because it's not allowed.
And then there's 2 more people with 10 of them. Who are these people? They've just been playing and rolling for so long.
They love Catalina, man. I don't know.
And then the Tai-Sai Spirit Bow is, 2 years younger than the Merglace, and there's 2 people with 9 of them.
Okay, 4 you can use. 9, no.
5. There's 3 people with 5 of them. How much do you like Folia?
Look, apparently, remember they gave that what small attack now.
It's 2 attacks. It's big attack and small attack.
Yeah, you could use that, I guess. Anyways,
and then
Eternal Love.
11 Eternal Loves on 1 person.
Is that Kakage?
It has to be Kakage, right? Kakage. This is the Kakage call out post. Sky Aces. Sky Aces are much more uncommon because Monika's newer and also it's once again Sentence.
I don't know why you need 5.
I don't know either. You just love Monika. You just love Monika. Reunion.
3 maybe, but even then you have better wind weapons.
Reunion, once again an older weapon. Vortex of the Void. Like 3 is a very reasonable number to have, a Vortex of the Void.
That's why there's 1,000 people in that one.
That's why there's almost 2,000 people with this one. And then actually not very many people go further than that. That's the thing. Like, people aren't memeing as much with the Grimnir weapon. But I'm going back to 12 Merglaces. How?
I don't know, man.
And then, all right.
This is why we need Merglace to get buffed.
And then the Earth one, I like the Nakamura picture on this one too, by the way, because he's just seen all of these other ones and he's just like, what is going on with you people? So, 10 AKs. I mean, Eugen's one of the oldest grand characters. Some people could reasonably have just rolled a lot and gotten those. There used to be a grid that had like 5 AKs in it. So
I remember that grid.
7 people with 20 of them? Or 20 people with 7 of them. Sorry, I keep getting this wrong way around. Relatively reasonable. Look at Cerastes. Cerastes is the Golden Knight. She's only a year old. There's 1 person with 3 of them. There's 44.
You can use 3. That's a thing.
What was that? You can use 3. There's 44 people with 2 of them, and then there's just the 1 because you're playing Earth, and if you're that invested into Earth, you're probably playing Kime.
So you only need 1.
So there's 14,000 people with just 1 of them. Sure. Same thing with
That's
the Yahatas.
reasonable.
Same thing with the Yahatas. There's 53,000 people with a single Yahada's Naginata. I don't know why anybody would want 4 of them at 4 stars. But there you have it with this one.
They like person. Leona.
And then, yeah, there's that 1 person with the Mirror Blade Shard who's, like, memeing and has a 50% lead over 2nd place. And then, yeah, the Ichigo with Kane, there's a grid that uses up to 5 of these really reasonably. 600 people have that grid, and then
Hold on. Why does that guy have 4 World Enders? Dude, the character came out, like, last month.
The character came out 3 months ago, for one thing.
Was it 3 months ago?
Yes, it was 3 months ago.
What?
Up to 2 of them stack reasonably, and then at 4 of them it's like, okay, buddy, okay.
Look, he's ready.
Or she.
He's not...
Or she.
Oh yeah, you're right.
They are ready.
They are ready. Because they're gonna do double Uriel or something. I don't know.
Double Keelan. If Keelan ever gets a 4-star, which I think is going to be a huge mistake, then on turn 1 you can Keelan and then Keelan again.
Dude, you do not want to catch a 4-star Keelan summon. That's just a horrible miss in our raid.
Just please never 4-star Keelan. Side games. Just never let Keelan have a 4th star, because then you can have a bunch of world enders, and like Lyria and Hercules, and then your single turn numbers will get even crazier. All right, we're moving on to light and limited weapons. So Ivory Arc, once again, reasonable numbers. Ouroboros
Four's
Prime,
actually still reasonable, yeah.
yeah, Ouroboros Prime, newest one, reasonable numbers. 9 Edens. Eden has the same thing as the Ixaba and the Ichigo, so people stack those things, and also Lucio's been out a long time, so what, end of 2017 at this point was when he came
Something
out?
like that.
Something like that. So the only one that I have questions about is DJ, how many uncapped certificates do you have? Are you one of these numbers?
No, because it's not. Mine's not uncapped. I'm at. If I were to uncap the rest of them 5, I have 2 uncapped though. So
You have 2 uncapped? Okay, so you're not on this list. But I was wondering. Lucio's 20.
I'm amazed you didn't ask me for certificates.
What?
Said I'm amazed you didn't ask me for certificates.
I did ask for certificates. Yeah, I was asking you for certificates.
Oh, I thought you said Gamontain.
No, I asked for certificates.
Yeah, no, I'm not any certificates. I only have 1.
Okay, we're gonna keep moving. But yeah, once again, Sacred Standard, there's a lot of people with 1 of them uncapped. That's very reasonable. Well done. Bab el Mandeb, you can actually see how many people have guaranteed crit grids with this thing, because there's like 45k with 1 of them, and like 11k with 2 of them. Unheil has reasonable numbers. You can stack 2 of them very easily. Sunya, you really only want 1 of them, so there's 81,500 people out there who are using it in their for their progression. Fallen Sword has the same thing as the Ixaba, but you know, 1 person has 9 of these.
Is Osaka Ryota in that? I don't know.
Maybe he has 5. I know he has at least like 3 or 4. Sonya is Ray. That's correct. So yeah, these ones aren't nearly as wild as the freaking 12 Murglay's friend. All right, more stats on certain weapons. So 412 people have killed 9,999 crabs.
Who goes out of their way to fight crabs?
People who really hate crabs and want this trophy.
See, the slime one I can make sense, at least to me.
Yeah, that's why there's 4 times as many people with 655, 35 slimes.
And then the treasure hunt one's just like obvious because you literally have a lot of characters that just have built-in treasure hunt in the first place.
Yep. So that one, you know, this one's fine. This one, like the one on this that just makes me laugh is the 99.99 crabs. They're only doing that to get this stick. There's no other reason to fight that many crabs in Granblue Fantasy.
There's no reason to go out of your way to fight crabs.
Yeah.
They don't drop anything for you.
There's nothing special about crabs. They just wanted to say Granblue Fantasy. This one is interesting to me in that 2/3 of players play Jita and 1/3 of players play Gran.
Yeah, that makes sense. I think that's kind of common in trends I see for JRPGs.
That's fair.
If you're given choice, so.
I wish I had the numbers off the top of my head of Fem Shep versus Male Shep in Mass Effect. So
I think that's slightly more skewed in Western audiences though, to male than female in most cases. But I don't have the exact numbers.
BioWare said that only 18% played Fem Shep.
Yeah, that makes sense.
In Mass Effect 2. Huh. It's just really interesting seeing this kind of split.
I mean, it's also, yeah, it's literally, if you compare that to this, it's literally the difference in what people want in their experience.
I guess so. But anyway, you're also seeing this with much more Jita representation in just everything they're doing in the past couple years. Like Relink, they're just like, yeah, we're just letting you play as Jita now. There's no like lock.
No blue.
There's no blue. We just put Jita in there. This also explains why Jita was a DLC character, because more people would want to play and pay for Jita than Gran. interesting stuff to think about for this one.
Yeah.
Most popular April Fool skins.
Yeah, these are understandable.
I am sad that the Monacar blew the freaking, what is it? Was it Naughtizilla also? And then what were the other April Fools ones for this year or this past year? It was Monacar. It was I've forgotten. It was Desert. It was Drill Robo Me.
Right?
It was Drill Robo Me, and then there was one more.
Oh yeah.
Was it Naughtizilla? Was it Naughtizilla?
It was
last year?
Naughtizilla. I believe it was Naughtizilla.
Okay, and then the sled came in with. I don't remember who came in with the sled. But Battleria, well, Battleria comes on a character that almost every player of Granblue Fantasy should have by just playing what makes the sky blue. Which
According to Saito, 2019 was Serial. Wait, people are saying something else. We'll figure it out later.
And then, this is the funniest one to me. There are 140 people who have more than 650 characters in Granblue Fantasy. One of them is Nakamura, and legend has it that he is still to this day trying to figure out what 4 characters he's missing.
And he's even even tweeted out about the stuff that he does have.
He's like, guys, I do have Slayers, I have Street Fighter,
Credit Card Zoe,
I have Ronco, I have Credit Card Zoe. Those are the most common ones that people ask me about. He's like, I can't currently look in the Sierra ticket in order to find who I'm missing.
He can't get any because all the ones that he has is already taken. Yeah.
Yeah. Legend has it he's still searching. But yeah, now we have, 669 characters in Granblue Fantasy, so this number has gone up very slightly, but it's still a very exclusive one.
It's a lot of characters. Like, how many are you at right now?
I'm barely over 600.
Let me check mine.
There are as of right now, this moment, there are 69 tie-in characters, because the characters from DVDs don't count, apparently. They are not tie-in. Because Cherios and Nina Drango and Rita and Amira, I know that I personally am missing those.
I'm at 590.
But yeah, just you have to be a very entrenched player and also have bought a lot of DVDs to get to these numbers. Because there's 4 from Rage of Bahamut that I can think of: Rita, SR Amira, SR Rita, Nina, Cherios. Then there's the Black Knight and Orchid, Catalina, Vera. I think it's just 3 characters from the Granblue Fantasy, the animation DVDs. So that's only 7 of them that you had to buy DVDs for. The Lord thing is that there are 5 orchestra characters. 2 of them have been given away for free. The other ones you would have had to have gone to a concert in 2016? 2016 to get. And Nakamura has one of them. It's like, oh. I'm envious. This is the list of Awakened 7 characters. There's actually no surprises in here. It's a bunch of Eternals and Zodiacs and Lily.
And Lily. Yeah, Lily was that slide. Just Lily.
So I'm just gonna name them off just so I don't have to write down the translation. But like in Fire, its top is Tien, then Anila, and then Athena. And the Tien thing, just so many people use her. She has anyway. Water, it goes Vajra, then Lily, then Fior. And the Fior one is also higher than it was before because you have to awaken them to 7 before you transcend them, is what you were telling me, right?
Yeah.
I totally forgot about the requirement. Yeah, I totally forgot about the requirement. Earth's is really funny to me because it is Christmas Narmaya, Summer Alex, and then an Eternal. So, more people have awakened a limited character to 7 in Earth than anybody else. For Wind, it is 7, Monkey, and Cow. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, that makes sense.
In Light, it is Tuyen, then it is specifically Grandjean, and then
Lucio. Alright.
And in Dark, it is 6, Vicky, Orchid.
Yeah, these all make sense.
Yeah, they all pretty much map to the most popular characters in each element. Uh, this one I'm gonna go very very quickly over. It is the January surprise ticket. It went in order: Mireille and Rosette, who were available for the first time on that one. Then Gorilla, then Feather, Predator, who's gonna be high on these for a little while. Now that they've printed 3 more Predators, maybe people will get other ones on the ticket. Here's Sutera, who was new on the time. Gawain was new at the time. Gisla for people who are memeing still. Light Ilsa, Typhon, and then Light Sarah, because once again, this was all for Light Favor Unite and Fight. So there's Light Gawain was amazing in that Unite and Fight. Ilsa
went over.
Ilsa is amazing in full auto, and Light Sarah is a really strong one-turn character, along with just being a good tank.
Yeah. I used her in my one turn actually.
So did I. Here are the number of starred characters. So once again, really quick, Vikala stays number 1. I'm very sad that this is not our Vikala. Then we get Vajra, Narmea, Christmas Narmea specifically, Grandjean, Cow, Toyan, Nier, Grand Sandalphon is number 8. Summer Zoe, and then regular Narmea, like original Dark Narmea.
All right.
But yeah, Grand Sandalphon was number 8.
There's a lot of people got them, I guess.
They got a lot of people to roll for Sandalphon. Well done. Here are the Valentine's Day campaign rankings, the ones that were sent in. So number 1, Sandalphon.
Oh.
Number 2, Vicky. Number 3, Belial. 4, Cow. Lucilius. Lucifer. Nier. 6, Percival and Jita.
Wasn't the comment on this one that the Knights have went down in popularity?
That's what Nakamura said to Osaka Ryota. It's like,
who is Percival?
Who is Percival? It's like, And that's it for the stats for this one. We made it through the stats that matter. There were things that were just like less interesting, like most common AX skill combination. It's just like,
yeah. The same combination half the time.
Yeah. How many of Sandalphon's were Mal sending multiples? I mean, Sandalphon is just the most popular male character in Granblue Fantasy. It's just how it is.
Yep.
Every poll says that. They did a great job making this boy.
One of my friends plays the game for Sandalphon, so...
Yeah? He's a very well-developed character. And he's also a popular when he's an Angie boy. Alright. Anyway, so this ended up being a very long episode.
Well, yeah, a little bit.
It's, so I'm gonna call this one now, DJ. Thank you for joining me. So before we go though, let's remind people what's coming up next. So
all right.
Next week we have the EMP Evokers. That's gonna be out. Lumi Malice is going to be out. 5-star Primals are going to be out. So 5-star.
That part's will be wild.
And then we're doing the GBF draft. So join us next week for that. I'm giving away prizes for people at the end of that one.
Woo.
But we're doing the GBF draft for fun, and because it's going to be your birthday, DJ. No comments? No comments?
What?
I'm just saying, it's got to be your birthday, and we're doing a special occasion. We're going to have some fun.
I'm just getting clowned on. I already know this. This is
What do you mean you're going to be clowned on? We're not.
Don't worry about it.
I'm giving you first pick in at least one of the rounds. You get first pick.
Supposed to be rotating out who gets first pick next?
Don't worry about it.
Everyone's guaranteed first pick at that point.
Don't worry about it. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Right. You get first pick. Anyway, guys, thanks for joining us on Granblue Radio. We'll see you on YouTube at the channel Granblue_EN. We have the Twitter account, twitter.com/Granblue_EN. We have a lot of interview stuff to translate, so I'm going to try and get on that this weekend. But as always, thank you for joining me. Thank you for listening to me just babble on about this game we really enjoy. And yeah, Thanks for joining me, and sticking around for a long episode, DJ.
You know I'm always here.
Well,
See you guys next week.
see you guys next week. I'm just gonna say that, like, as soon as both of us get vaccinated, we're just taking like 2 weeks off of this thing, and we're just gonna be like, "Yep, I'm in Europe. I'm in Japan. I don't know where I am. I'm wherever they're allowed. I'm wherever I'm allowed to be with this vaccine."
Hey, maybe the Granblue Cafe will be open at that time.
Yeah, the Grand Cipher Kitchen.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll enjoy that. All right, thanks again for joining, everybody. We'll talk to you later.
Peace.
Peace. See you next week.